My name is Trussell, and I am in Denver, Colorado. I was originally born in Boston, Massachusetts, and raised in Pasadena, California, but I've been here quite a while. The enslaver in my ancestry is Thomas B. Clarkson. He had plantations that I call work camps in South Carolina, down near Charleston in the Low Country. Growing up, there wasn't a lot of conversation about Thomas Clarkson, really. There was, a little bit here and there about a plantation in the family that burned down at the end of the Civil War, and my double great-grandfather, Hugh Thompson, was a governor in South Carolina. And so there was just little bits here and there, but not really by way of critique, just by family knowledge. And it wasn't really until I made a transition from nursing into becoming a pastor and really starting to wonder about the implications of my family's story, in part because I also became part of a group, a multi-race, multi-faith organizing group in Colorado called Together Colorado, that really was doing some hard work on removing the slavery exception out of the state constitution, working on mass incarceration issues and issues of transforming justice in the criminal justice system. It wasn't really until I saw the impact of mass incarceration, particularly on our siblings of color, black and brown, that I really started to feel more compelled by my family's story. And I had a wonderful young organizer, Rashawn, who really invited me and encouraged me and worked with me on telling the family's story and what it means to have a triple great-grandfather who enslaved Black Africans. So that became really important, and as I started to figure that out, I started to figure out more clearly that one of the roles that I have is helping us, my family, my congregation, my city, my state, my country, helping us really figure out how we structure a society in which we can call ourselves good, but the society doesn't work for everyone. I recently went on a multi-faith trip down to Montgomery, Alabama, to see some of the museums and memorials there. And at the Memorial for Peace and Justice, I met a security guard named Ricky and was introduced by one of our black leaders on that trip to Ricky. And I was introduced as, hey, this is Pastor Caitlin, and she has an ancestor who had a plantation in South Carolina. And Ricky looked at me and said, where was it? And I said, it was just around Charleston. And he goes, oh, Low Country. And I said, yeah, Low Country. And he said, heavy. And I said, yeah. And I tried to find him a little bit later, and I did ask him if he was from there, because he knew about it. And he said, no ma'am, but my family was from there. And when I looked at him, I realized I wasn't ready, and I didn't know what the conversation was that I needed to have with him, nor was it his responsibility to have that conversation with me in terms of any kind of reconciliation or my own family history. But I've become very aware that there's this umbrella question that I just shared, how do we structure a society that in which we can call ourselves good but isn't good for everyone. But for me, there's also become this really personal question, and I'm still working on how I need to answer some of those questions so that I don't approach people like Ricky at a memorial with a sense of wanting to have an additional conversation. So I know for me that there's more to come on this personal level, even as we work to structure a society in a better way.